ज- जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अच्युत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अच्युत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतश्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम अचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अविश्व पदार्थ गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। द गौड़ीय भाष्य श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। हरि हरि प्रभु भवतारिणी माता जी and Satya माता जी and Raseshwari माता जी and Kishore Prabhu and a few others. Dandava pranams everybody. All right, so I'm going to start the Mangala Charan and then yeah. I'll talk to that. Okay. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अवतीर्णौ सकारुण्यो परिचिन्नो सरीश्वरो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानन्दो द्वौ भ्रातरो भजे। नमस्त्रिकालसत्याय जगन्नाथसुताय च सभृत्याय सुपुत्राय सकलत्राय ते नमः। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य लक्ष्मीकांत जय जय नित्यानंद वल्लभ एकांत जय जय वैकुंठ ईश्वर न्यासीराज जय 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 भक्त समाज जय जय पतित पावन गौरचंद्र दान देहो हृदये तुम्हार पद द्वंद्व शेष खंड कथा भाई सुनो एक चित्ते नीलाचले गौरचंद्र आइला जे मते। तवै वास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना एति विज्ञाय देवी त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्गमध्ये Kripamai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita. Ore mora lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshaka, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitair Jate Jani Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jato Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiachen Iha Jani Korea Udhar, Chaitanya Mangal Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Totokon, Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasamukhe, Vakta Shri Chaitanya, Vrindavana Dasapore Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sansar, Narayani Chaitanya Uchishta Bhajan, Tar Garbe Janmila Shridasa Vrindavan, Tar Ki Arbutta Chaitanya Charita Varnan, Jahara Shravani Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan, Shahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Sri Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Haribol. So after a long, how many days has it been? It's been quite a few days now. Since before Parikrama, we haven't had, like, I haven't been here live with all of you. I did some pre-recorded videos, but it's been a while since our last Chaitanya Bhagavat reading in real time. And I think for all of you who are in our Chaitanya Bhagavat WhatsApp group, you've already seen this probably, but for those who aren't in it, yesterday I planned out all the readings for all the different programs that we have going on. And so I calculated that we're going to have to finish Chaitanya Bhagavat in 25 readings, which will be around 5,500 words per reading, which is what we generally read every day, but it means I can't miss a day. I have to be really on it. And then also, I made calendars for Google. Here, I'll show you really quick. And Haribo Krishna Maya Didi and Kishore Krishna Prabhu. All right, so here are the different calendars. So we have the Raise of the Harmonist and Ishtagoshti program, and also the Dainik Nadia Prakash readings that we're going to do as Shrivas. So I made a Google Calendar. See, you can see all the dates there. Starts off with the date that I send out the email, like the article that we'll be reading to your inbox. You can subscribe to that on raiseoftheharmonist.com, and then the reading. So, and then on every other Sunday, we're going to have a Nadia Prakash reading with Srivas. That's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's daily newspaper. And Srivas is translating every single issue of that. So he's always finding lots of very interesting things in there. So I thought that'd be nice. Twice a month, he can share that with us every other Sunday. And then, so that's Raise of the Harmonist. And now I have here the Caitanya-bhāgavata program. These are all the days that we'll be having Caitanya-bhāgavata readings. And there'll be 25 of them. And then once that is finished, we'll complete that on May 3rd. That will be our last reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata. Well, that's Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's disappearance day. We started on his appearance day and we're finishing on his disappearance day. And then I thought the days after that, I think the day after that, there's some special day. I forgot what it is. Anyways, and then the days after that, on the 5th, 6th, and 7th, we'll have we'll do a review of the Adi-khaṇḍa. The next day we'll do a review of the Madhya-khaṇḍa, all the pastimes. And then on the 7th, the next day we'll do a review of the full Antya-khaṇḍa. And then the day after that will be Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day. So I thought that would be a very appropriate day to start a new program to go through every single songbook of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We'll go through the meaning of all the verses. We'll go through one song a day, and we'll go through the meaning of all the verses. And then maybe we can sing it. Maybe we could have a discussion on it. And then for those who are interested, I thought it'd be nice to go through the grammar so that you can start to understand what's like you can understand the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs and Narottam Das Thakur's songs without having to rely so much on a translation, but you can actually know the meaning of the original Bengali words. That would be nice. So that program's starting on May 8th. And if the kirtan part doesn't go on too long, like, we have a lot of extra time, then I was thinking maybe we could read from Harinam Chintamani by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well. So that's that. So Raise of the Harmonist. Then this calendar. So these are 2 calendars. And then if you like, you can subscribe to them. You can find the link on vineofdevotion.com. And then you can know in advance what our future readings will be. And if you don't have time to join everything, then you can you can pick and choose different dates that you want to join. And then I also made the Chaitanya Panjika calendar. I made it all the way up to Nrsimha Chaturdashi. And this, so you can see it here. So, all right. Just wanted to share that with you. If you go to vineofdevotion.com, as I mentioned, you'll find right here. I'll just show you really quick. Vineofdevotion.com. Right here, the last post I made, our daily online programs. If you click here, then you'll find the links to the Caitanya-bhāgavata and special Tithi readings calendar and our WhatsApp group for that, where I send out the link for Zoom and YouTube before we go live. And also the Raise of the Harmonist Ishtagoshti Dainik Nadia Prakash. You can find both the calendar and WhatsApp group here. And also for the Vaishnav calendar, the Navadip Panjika that I made for Navadip and the TT Countdown WhatsApp group. Also, for a while now, it's like since from the first day of January, we've been doing a daily Nurturing the Seed focus session. We focus for 40 minutes. Some people like to join for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but the full session is 40 minutes. And it's a time when you can do daily practice. So like any kind of practice that you want to cultivate, it gives you a good excuse to set some precious, like sacred time for that practice that you want to cultivate. So there's a WhatsApp group where I send out the link in Zoom for that as well. So all right. I've been talking for way too long now. Let's begin Caitanya-bhāgavata. And I'm just seeing who all has joined. Hare Krishna Amit Dandekar and Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai Haribo. Oh, and I'm curious, who has been joining? Like for anybody watching in the future, if you could just leave a comment so that I know who's watching later on. Sudevi Didi, um, Savitri Chapala, she just messaged me and let me know that she's watching later. And yeah, I'd just be interested to know who else is joining that I don't see live. Okay, so yesterday, in chapter 2, we ended the chapter with reading about how Mahaprabhu, he saw the flag on the top of the Jagannath temple from Kamalapur. It's a town next to Puri. So from that town, he was able to see the flag on the top of the Jagannath temple, and the Lord became overwhelmed with ecstasy after so many days traveling through where did he travel through? Well, we read about, like, for many days we've been reading about all the different places where Mahaprabhu traveled through, Chhatrabhog, and I forgot all the names of the places, and through different places in Orissa, Remuna, Shakshi Gopal, and then he came to Kamalapur, where he could see Jagannath's temple. And then when Mahaprabhu came to Ataranala, he expressed a desire to go see Lord Jagannath alone. With intense eagerness, he then went ahead alone and entered the temple of Jagannath. On seeing Jagannath and meeting the Lord after a long separation, Mahaprabhu became so absorbed in ecstasy that he was about to embrace Jagannath, and he fell unconscious to the ground. At that time, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya was in the temple taking darshan of Lord Jagannath. On seeing the condition of the new sannyasi, he understood, according to the symptoms described in the scriptures, that the Lord was an exalted personality. When the temple guards were about to beat the Lord, Sārvabhauma forbade them from doing so and brought Mahaprabhu to his own house. By and by, the devotees headed by Nityananda arrived there. After the Lord regained his external consciousness, he resolved to see Lord Jagannath only from behind the Garuda pillar. Then, after taking bath, the Lord displayed the pastime of honoring Mahaprasad with the devotees at the house of Sārvabhauma. Okay, so after taking bath, the Lord displayed the pastime of honoring Prasad with the devotees at the house of Sārvabhauma. That's how we ended last chapter. Now, beginning chapter 3 of Antya-khaṇḍa, Mahaprabhu's deliverance of Sārvabhauma, exhibition of his six-armed form, and journey to Bengal. I'm going to skip the chapter summary today so that we don't end too late today, but we'll read it. We'll read it throughout the next few days. Okay, so Jaya Jaya Śrī Krishna Caitanya Gunadham, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Swarupera Pran. Swarupera Pran. All glories to Śrī Krishna Caitanya, the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda Swarup. Oh, and I just saw Satyamataji's question regarding the Bhaktivinoda Thakur Kirtan program. Yes, grammar and meter too. Yes, we'll go through the meter as well. Of course, the grammar and the meter. Yes. And that's actually not so difficult. There's mainly 3 meters that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote his kirtans in. Oh, and just one thing. For these calendars, when you go to this page to join any of these calendars, I've noticed that it doesn't really work on devotees' phones so well. It's better if you go to this on your web browser and then click on it. Then some devotees were having problems trying to open it up with their phone. And I think you need to have a Google account, actually like a Gmail account or a Google account, to be able to use a calendar, I think. Maybe I should make a calendar that's, figure that out. Okay. Jai Jaya Vaikunta Nayaka Kripa Sindhu, Jai Jaya Nyasi Chudamani Dina Bandhu. All glories to the Lord of Vaikunta, who is an ocean of mercy. All glories to the crest jewel of all sannyasis and friend of the poor. Shesha Khanda Katha Bhai, Shuno Eka Chitte, Shri Gauranga Chandra Viharilo Jeno Mate. O brothers, hear with attention the topics of the Antya-khaṇḍa, wherein Shri Gaurachandra's pastimes are described. Amriter Amrita Shri Gauranger Katha, Brahma Shiva Jai Amrita, Vanchena Sarvata. The topics of Shri Gauranga are the essence of all nectar. Such nectar is always desired by personalities like Brahma and Shiva. Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. The topics of Shri Gaur are the most relishable of all nectar. Since these topics are not influenced by temporary time factors like birth and death, these eternal topics are worshipable and desired by personalities like Brahma and Shiva. In the Mundaka Upanishad 225, it is stated, Tam evaikam janata atmanam anyavacho vimunchatamritasyaisha setu. Sorry. Know that he is the all-pervading supersoul. Give up talking of anyone else. He is the bridge to immortality. See also Srimad Bhagavatam 10:31-9. Ataeva Śrī Caitanya Kathar Shravane Sabara Santosha Hoy Dushta Gana Bine. Therefore, simply by hearing topics of Śrī Caitanya, everyone except the miscreant becomes pleased. Gaudiya Bhashya. The topics of Śrī Caitanya please everyone except unfortunate wicked people, because by hearing topics of Śrī Caitanya, living beings attain knowledge of Krishna, service to Krishna, and love for Krishna. In this regard, one should see Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 60, verse 44, Canto 3, Chapter 13, verse 50, and Canto 10, Chapter 1, verse 4. Shuno Shesha Khanda Katha Chaitanya Rahasya Ihara Shravane Krishna Paiba Avashya. Here the confidential topics of Lord Chaitanya described in the Antya-khaṇḍa. For by hearing these topics, one will certainly attain Krishna. Enomate Shri Gora Sundara Nila Chale Atma Sangopana Kori Ache Kutuhale. In this way, Shri Gaurasundar concealed his identity while happily residing in Nilachal. Jadi tiho vyakta na koren apanare, tave kara shakti ache tare jani vare. Who has the power to know him if he does not reveal himself? Daive ekadina Sārvabhaumer sahite Boshilen Prabhutane Loya Nibrite. By the arrangement of providence, the Lord one day sat down in a solitary place with Sārvabhauma. Prabhu bole shuno Sārvabhauma Mahāshai, tomare kohi je ami apana hriday. The Lord said, Listen, Sārvabhauma Mahāshai, let me reveal my heart to you. Jagannatha dekhite je ailam ami, uddesha amar mul etha acho tumi. Although I came to see Jagannath, my main purpose here was to meet you. Jagannatha amare ki kohi ben katha, tumi she amar bandha chindi be sarvata. Will Jagannath speak to me? It is you who will completely destroy my material bondage. Gaudiya Bhashya. Another reading of Bandha Chindibe, will destroy bondage, is Bandhu Achaho. You are my friend. Tomate Sheboishe Shri Krishnera Purna Shakti, Tumi She Dibare Para Krishna Prema Bhakti. You are fully empowered by Lord Krishna, so you are able to award one loving devotional service to Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18-12. Realizing that Sārvabhauma's desire for the four objectives of life was simply deceitful, Sri Gaurasundar also deceitfully told him that he had come to Nilachal to take instruction from Sārvabhauma and that Sārvabhauma had the power to bestow on one loving devotional service to Krishna. Eteke tomar ami loinu ashray, taha koro je rupe amar bhalo hoy. Therefore, I take shelter of you. Do whatever you consider is beneficial for me. Ki vidhi koribo mui, thakibo ki rupe, je mote na poro mui e sangsara kupe. What rules and regulations should I follow? How should I live? Please instruct me so that I do not fall into the well of material life. Shava upadesha more koho amayai, ami she tomar hoy, jano sarvathai. Please instruct me without reservation. Know for certain that I am a soul surrendered to you. Gaudiya Bhashya. Another reading for the second line is Tomari she ami iha jani ho nishchoy, which means the same. E mote aneka prakare E mote aneka prakare māyā kori Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya Gora Hari. In this way, Gaur Hari used various means to delude Sārvabhauma while speaking to him. Na janiya Sārvabhauma Ishvarer marma kohite lagila je jiver jata dharma. Without realizing the Lord's intention, Sārvabhauma began to speak about the religious duties of living entities. Sārvabhauma bolen kohila jata tumi shakala tomara bhalo basilama ami. Sārvabhauma said, I appreciate everything you have said. Je tomar hoyache bhaktir udoy atyanta apurva she kohile kabu noy. Sārvabhauma said, I appreciate everything you have said. The devotion that has awakened in you is certainly most wonderful and beyond description. Krishna kripa hoyache tomar upare shabe ek koriyacho nahe vyabhare. You have attained Krishna's mercy, but you have done one thing that is improper. Wonder what does he say the Lord did as improper? Parama subudhi tumi hoya apane tabe tumi sannyasa korila ki karane. You have done one thing that is improper. Although you are most intelligent, why did you take sannyas? Gaudiya Bhashya. Sārvabhauma said, O Krishna Chaitanya, you have attained Krishna's mercy and you are most intelligent. So why did you take sannyas? What qualification do you have to take sannyas? You are too young. Personalities like Madhavendra Puri have taken sannyas, but they have done so after maturely enjoying material life. Before accepting sannyas, you should have particularly considered that everyone respects a sannyasi as a member of the topmost ashram. Since you have accepted Vaishnava principles, which entail becoming humbler than a blade of grass, what need was there to become a candidate for receiving the highest respect found in social etiquette? Giving up shika and Brahman thread is an example of pride. It is simply the desire to ascend to the highest level of fame. A person following Vaishnava principles should offer obeisances to a dog eater, a cow, and an ass, and he should not accept respect from anyone. Mayavadi sannyasis in particular consider themselves equal to the Supreme Lord, who is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Therefore, They are unworthy sons and foolish. Pujo deki vichariya ki ache sanyase pratame baddha hoy ahankara pashe. Just consider, what is the use of accepting sannyas? One immediately becomes bound by the ropes of false ego. Danda dhori mahagyan hoy apanare kahareo bole joda hasta nahi kore. One who carries a danda considers himself a great person and does not fold his hands before anyone. Jar pada dhuli loite veder vihita eno jane namaskare tabu nahe bhita. A sannyasi is not afraid to accept obeisances from such a personality that the Vedas declare the dust of his feet should be respected. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word namaskare means offers obeisances. So even that personality that the Vedas declare that the dust from that person's feet should be respected, even that person, a sannyasi, is not afraid to accept obeisances from. Ahankara dharma e kabhu bhalo nahe bhujo e bhagavate jeno mata kohe. False ego, ahankar, is never good. Try to understand the words of Srimad Bhagavatam in this regard. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase jeno mata means the way or as. Okay, so he says, try to understand the words of Srimad Bhagavatam in this regard. And now he's going to quote the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-16. And I guess the next verse is 3:29-34. So there in Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated, Pranamer dandavar bhumav ashva chandala go karam pravishto jivakalaya tatraiva bhagavan iti. Realizing that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as a supersoul, one should offer obeisances before all, even the dogs, outcasts, cows, and asses, falling flat upon the ground like a rod. Pramanadi kukur chandal anta kori, dandavata kori beka, bahumanya kori. You should offer full obeisances to all living entities, including the brahmanas, dogs, and dog-eaters. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3:29-34, it is stated, Manasaitani bhutani pranamer bahumanayan ishvaro jivakalaya pravishto bhagavan iti. Such a perfect devotee offers respects to every living entity because he is under the firm conviction that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as a supersoul or controller. In the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya 20, verse 25, it is stated, Uttam hoya Vaishnava have nirabhiman jive saman dive jani Krishna adishtan. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respects to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. Another reading for kori, to do, is dhori, to hold. Eshe Vaishnava Dharma Sabare Pranati She Dharma Dvaji Jar Ite Nahi Rati. Vaishnav etiquette is to offer respects to everyone, but one who is a hypocrite has no attachment for this. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Dharma Dvaji refers to a pseudo-devotee or hypocrite. And literally it means Dharma Dvaji, that person who bears the flag of Dharma. Like out externally, they show that Dvaji means one who holds a flag. And so they promote themselves as being religious, where actually they aren't. Shikha Sutra Guchaya Sabe Ela Namaskar Kore Asi Mahabhaga. The only gain in giving up one's shikha and Brahman thread is that respectable people offer one their obeisances. Pratame shuniye eka apacheya ebe ar shuno sarva nasha buddhi koi. Okay. Yeah, so the only gain in giving up one's shikha and Brahman thread is that respectable people offer one their obeisances. This is the first loss in accepting sannyas. Now hear about the other loss, by which one's intelligence becomes polluted. Jiver swabhava dharma ishvara bhajan taha chari apanare bole narayan. The constitutional duty of the living entity is to worship the Supreme Lord. But after taking sannyas, one gives up that worship and calls himself Narayan. They give up the worship of Narayan and then start to call themselves Narayan. Oh, Hari Bol Rukmini Didi. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 5.10.23, it is stated, Swadharmam aradhanam achutasya yad iham mano vijahatya gogham. If one is engaged in his own occupational duty as ordered by the Supreme Lord, his sinful activities are certainly diminished. Also in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11.2.33, it is stated, Manye kutaschir bhayam achutasya padam pujo samna atra nityam udvigna buddher asaratma bhavad vishwatmana yatra nivartate bhi. I consider that one whose intelligence is constantly disturbed by his falsely identifying himself with the temporary material world can achieve real freedom from fear only by worshiping the lotus feet of the infallible Supreme Lord. In such devotional service, all fear ceases entirely. Garbhavase je Ishvar, Korilen Rakhaya, Hara Prasade Hoilo Buddhi Jnana Shiksha. The Supreme Lord protects the living entity when he is within the womb of his mother. By the Lord's mercy, that living entity obtains intelligence and knowledge. Gaudiya Bhashya C, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, verses 12 to 21. Yeah, Kapila. Jar dasya lagi shesha aja bhava rama payao niravadhi koren kamana. Srishti stiti pralay jahar dase kore lajja nahi heno prabhu bole apanare nidra hoile apane ke ihao na jane apanare narayana bole heno jane jagater pita krishna sarva vede koi pitare she bhakti kore Jesu putra hoy. Ananta Shesh, Brahma, Shiva, the goddess of fortune, and the goddess of fortune. Sorry, guys, I need to, I'm a little bit out of it right now. Ananta Shesh, Brahma, Shiva, and the goddess of fortune. They always desire to obtain the service of that Supreme Lord, whose servants carry out the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material manifestation. Yet, the shameless sannyasi claims to be that Supreme Lord. A sannyasi claims to be Narayan, even though he does not know who he is when he sleeps. The Vedas declare that Krishna is the father of the entire universe, and the obedient son will respect his father. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Mayavad Shatadushani, number 7, it is stated, Does anybody remember what I remember reading about the Mayavad Shatadushani. Was this, but I forgot who wrote it. Was it Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, or was it another Acharya? Does anybody remember? Oh, and Haribol Champak Mataji. Yeah, if anybody remembers, he can let me know. So in the Mayavad Shatadushani, verse 7, it says, text 7, it says, Sarvagya Sarvadarshi Tribhuvanam Akilam Hasta Yasye Drishang Tat Sarvesham Srishti Rakshalayam Api Kurute Bhruvi Bhangena Sadhya Agya Sapeksha Darshitvam Asi Sa Bhagavan Sarvalokaika Shakshinanatvam by Sa Ekojara Balinantaras Tvam Hi Naivam Vidasa. So it means, oh friend, the Supreme is all-knowing, and he sees everything. From him, this entire astonishing and variegated material cosmos has emanated. He creates, maintains, and destroys the entire universe by a slight movement of his eyebrows. Oh friends, you are not like him. You are ignorant of so many things, and your vision is limited. Although you wish to see everything, the Supreme Lord is full of all opulences, and he is the ultimate witness who observes everyone. O friends, the individual living entities are numerous, but the Supreme is one only. You are stunted and impure because of material conduct, but he remains always pure and free from the touch of matter. O friends, your nature is completely different from his in these ways. Also, in the Mayavad Shatadushani 67, it is stated. I'm just going to check really quickly. Okay, Rukmini says she thinks it's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Let's see if it comes up in a quick Google search. Okay. Oh, look, it says, after systematically dividing the Vedic contents, Madhvacharya wrote the Mayavad Shatadushani, in which he established the supremacy. Okay, so maybe it's right here, it looks like it's Madhvacharya. But yeah, that's just one place I saw that. Okay, and then there says there is a book called the Tattva Muktavali, Mayavad, and also known as Mayavad Shatadushani. It has it in the Gaudiya tradition and its Madhva connection, 49. Okay. So I think this is Madhvacharya. Also in the Mayavad Shatadushani 67, it is stated, Lakshmi Kanta Prakata Paramananda Purnam Ritabdhi Sevyo Rudra Prabhriti Vibhudair Yasya Padam Bhuganga Srishtai Purvam Srijati Nikilam Bru Vibhangena Sadhya Soham Vakyam Vadasi Vata Re Jiva Raksho Naraja. It means the Supreme Lord is the husband of the goddess of fortune. He is a nectarian ocean of transcendental bliss. Lord Shiva and all the great demigods serve him. The sacred Ganga is water that has washed his feet. Before the material cosmos was manifested, he created everything in a moment, simply by slightly moving his eyebrows. O individual spirit soul, your continual muttering of Soham, I am the Supreme, is completely unreasonable and illogical. He is the Supreme Master, the monarch who rules all existence, and you are his small son, always dependent on his protection. On the Prashna Upanishad 211, it is stated, Vayamadhyasya datara pitatvam matarishvana. We are the givers of your food. You are the parent of the wind. See Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, Chapter 1, Verse 1, and 11th Canto, Chapter 5, Verses 2 and 3. In the Māyā Shatadushani 69, I thought we just did 69. We did 67, okay. In 69, it is stated, Soham ma vadase vyase vakataya nityam bhaja Shri Harim tena syat tavasargati druvamada pato bhaveranyata nana yoni shugar vavasa vishaye dukam mahat praptyate asvarge va narake punah punaraho jivatvaya bhramyate. O individual spirit soul, please give up this muttering of Soham, I am the Supreme. Know that you are the eternal servant of Lord Hari. Engage in his pure devotional service and thus become qualified to enter the eternal spiritual world. If you reject the service of Lord Hari, you will fall down into the wombs of mothers in many different species, and you will suffer great anguish as you wander among the hells and heavens of the material world. In the Māyā Shatadushani, verses 73 to 74, it is also stated, and we'll end with this. Yasaiva Caitanya Labena Jiva Jato Si Caitanya Bhato Varenya Ma Bruhi Soham Shataka Krita Gnad. Anya Parmang Banchati Hasta Bharatu. Then Nyasta Shri Parameshvarena Kripaya Chaitanya Leshastvai Tam Tasmat Parameshvara Swayamaham Nayati Vaktung Shata Labdva Kashtana Durjana Kaluyata Hastyashvapadantakam Padatakam Bhupa Deva Tadiya Rajapadabim Chakre Grahitum Mana. So here's a translation for these two verses. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the individual living entities are endowed with a tiny fragment of consciousness. Oh, rascal Mayavadi, do not, on this account, arrogantly proclaim, I am actually the Supreme. By saying this, you have become like a criminal-minded person who obtains elephants, cavalry, and infantry from the king on the plea of begging for protection during a journey, and then decides to use all those soldiers for his own personal army of bandits to plunder the king's property on the royal roads. Oof, that's a good one. I have to say that to any Mayavadi I meet. I've mentioned this before, but it's just something I really loved when I was in Puri. We had an old, our dadu there. He's like very old, but his way to insult somebody would to call somebody a Mayavadi. You Mayavadi, like you idiot, you stupid. Like he'd say you Mayavadi. Okay. So now continuing Caitanya-bhāgavata, continuing from verse 38. So spaced out. Okay. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya, he quotes this verse. It says, Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. Then Sārvabhauma continues, Gita Shastre Arjunera Sanyasa Karan Shuno e Jaha Kohiyache Narayan. Now, hear what Narayan said to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita about renouncing one's duty. Okay, so this is Bhagavad Gita. What verse is this? Doesn't give it. Anyways. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. Oh yeah, I know this verse. This is chapter 12. Can't remember. Okay. Just look up the chapter really quick. There's no reference given. That's chapter 6. 6. Oh, 6:1. Okay. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Nishkama hoya kore je Krishna bhajan, tahare she boli jogi sannyasi lakhan. One who worships Krishna without any selfish desires is called a yogi and a sannyasi. Gaudiya Bhashya. One who gives up the 4 objectives of life, that is religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, and who cultivates devotional service without motives, is an actual yogi or sannyasi. Vishnu kriya na korile, paran na khaile, kichu nahe shakshate e vede bole. The Vedas clearly state that if one does not worship Vishnu and depends on others for his food, he cannot make any advancement. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Vishnu Kriya refers to the worship of Hari. Accepting sannyas devoid of devotional service to Vishnu is like depending on others for one's food. It is useless. The perfection of activities is to attain love of God, as stated in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 3:23-56. Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirtha pada sevayai jivan api mrito hisa. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Then Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya now quotes this verse from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, chapter 29, verses 49 and 50. Astirya dharbhai prag agrai kartsnena shitimandalam stabdo brihad vadhanamani karma na vaishiyat param tat karma haritosham yat savidyatan matiryaya. One's only activity should be those that can please the Supreme Person, that can please the personality of Godhead. And education should be such that one becomes elevated to Krishna consciousness. Since Sri Hari is the supersoul of all living entities who have accepted material bodies within this world, he is that supreme cause and controller of everything. 1 second, let me just close WhatsApp so that you don't see any. Tahare she boli dharma karma sadachar, Ishvare se priti janme sammata shavar. Real religious principles, activities, and proper codes of conduct are those by which one develops love for the Supreme Lord. Tahare she boli vidya mantra adhyayan, Krishna pada parme je karoye stiraman. Real education, chanting of mantras, and study of the scriptures are those by which one fixes his mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Other readings for mantra is anta, end, and manta, opinion. Sabar jivana Krishna janaka sabar, eno Krishna jena bhaje, Sārvabhauma. Krishna is the life and father of everyone. Everything is useless for one who does not worship Krishna. Jadi bolo Shankarer mato sheho nahe, tar abhipray dasya tari mukhe kohe. If you say that the philosophy of Shankaracharya does not agree with this, then I will quote his words to prove that he desired the service of the Lord. Whoa. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although Shankaracharya did not openly say that worship of Krishna is the eternal duty of the living entities, he considered himself like a wave of the ocean. A wave is not the ocean. This was his conviction. Suppressing the dualities or conditional state of the material world does not mean liberation. Actual liberation entails renouncing one's unconstitutional position and becoming situated in one's constitutional position. Renouncing the unconstitutional position and becoming situated in the constitution. Therefore, even in some parts of Shankaracharya's philosophy, aversion to devotional service is not seen. Shankar's followers, who could not understand his intentions, proudly identify themselves as liberated souls on the strength of their external dress. Actually, giving up external signs like the shika and Brahman thread is not the basis for devotional service. Giving up the shika and Brahman thread while accepting ekadanda sannyas is also not the basis for devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna becomes enhanced by acceptance of tridanda sannyas, not by ekadanda sannyas. After hearing these explanations of Sārvabhauma, Śrī Gaurasundar became very pleased. So, Sārvabhauma says, if you say that the philosophy of Shankaracharya does not agree with this, then I will quote his words to prove that he desired the service of the Lord. Now, he said, Shankaracharya has stated as follows. Now he's quoting Shankaracharya. Satyapi bheda pagamenata tavahana mama kiyastvam samudro hi tarangakva chana samudra nataranga. O Lord, although the living entities and the Supreme Brahman are non-different, the living entities are subordinate to you. In other words, their existence is dependent on you. You, however, are never dependent on anyone. Although there is no difference between the ocean and its waves, the existence of the waves is dependent on the ocean. The ocean is never dependent on the waves. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Mayavad Shatadushani, verses 48 and 10, it is stated, Avatara vatari vatvad ishvaropi dvivida smrita bhakta bhakta vibedhena jivopi bhavati dvida. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in two features. One, in his original form as the source of all incarnations, and two, in his many Vishnu Tattva incarnations. So, his Swayam Rup and his all the Vishnu incarnations. Okay. The many living entities may, Swayam Prakash, right? I don't know. The many living entities may also be divided into two groups. One, the devotees who are free from the influence of the illusory energy. And two, the non-devotees who are bound by the illusion of māyā. And now this is Mayavad Shatadushani, verse 10. Yatha samudre bhavastarangas tatha vayam brahmani bhuri jiva bhavit tarango nakadacharabdis tvam brahma kasmad bhavitasi jiva. Innumerable waves splash within the great ocean, and in the same way, countless spirit souls exist within the Supreme Brahman. O individual spirit soul, a single wave can never become the ocean. So how do you think you'll become the Supreme Brahman? I like that one. Although there is no difference between the ocean and its waves, the existence of the waves is dependent on the ocean. The ocean is never dependent on the waves. Very similar to what Shankaracharya is saying, isn't it? What Madhvacharya said in that verse. So Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya continues. Yadyapiho jagate ishvare bhedanai Sarvamoy paripurna ache sarvatai. Although there is no difference between the Supreme Lord and this material world, he is present everywhere as the complete whole. Tabu toma hoite she hoyachi ami, ama hoite nahi kabu hoyacho tumi. Still, I have come from you. Still, I have come from you. You have never come from me. Jeno samudrer she taranga loke bole, taranger samudra na hoy kono kale. As people say, samudrer she taranga, those waves of the ocean. They'll never say the ocean of the waves, taranger samudra. अतएव जगत तुम्हार तुम्ही अतएव जगत तुम्हार तुम्ही पिता इहालोके परलोके तुम्ही से रखिता. Therefore, you are the proprietor and the father of the universe. You are the protector in this life and the next, O Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word rakshita means the protector. And I think right here he's talking directly to the Lord, but not really, because he doesn't know Mahaprabhu's the Supreme Personality of Godhead yet. So he's just speaking, yeah, abstractly about to the Lord. I mean, sorry, whatever. Jaha hoite hoy janma je kore palan, tare jena bhaje bharja hoy she jan. Anyone who does not worship the person from whom he is born and by whom he is maintained is fit to be rejected. E Shankarer Vakyai, E Abhipray, Iha na janiya mata, ki karye mudai. These are the statements and intentions of Shankaracharya. Why would one shave his head without understanding this? Gaudiya Bhashya. Another reading for Vakya statements is Shloka, verse. Sanyasi hoiya niravadi narayan, boli beka prema bhakti joge anukhan. A sannyasi should constantly chant the name of Narayan with love and devotion. Na bhujiya Shankaracharyer abhipray, bhakti chari mata muraiya dukha pai. Those who do not understand Shankaracharya's intention and give up devotional service suffer even after shaving their heads. Ataiva tomare shekohi e ami heno pate pravishta hoila kene tumi. Therefore, I ask you, why have you taken such a path? Jadi Krishna bhakti joge koribo udhar, tabe shikha sutra tyage kona labhya ar. If you wish to deliver the world by distributing devotional service to Lord Krishna, then what need is there to give up your shikha and Brahman thread? Gaudiya Bhashya. Another reading for ar, what else, is tar, his. Jadi bolo Madhavendra adi Mahabhaga, taharao koriache shikha sutra tyaga. You may say that great personalities like Madhavendra Puri have also given up their shikhas and Brahman threads. Tatapi tomar sannyasa koribar, eshamoy kemote hoibe adhikar. Still, you are not yet ready to accept sannyas. Shesha Mahanta Shesha Tribhanga Vayashe Gramya Rasa Bhunjiya She Korila Sannyase. All those great souls relished material enjoyment and took sannyas after 3/4 of their life had passed. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase gramya rasa bhunjiya means after relishing material enjoyment. Yovana pravesha matra shakale tomar kemote bahoibo sannyase adhikar. You have just entered the prime of your life, so how can you be qualified to take sannyas? Paramarte sannyase ki koribo tomare jai bhakti hoyache tomara sharire. What is the use of accepting sannyas when you have already developed such devotional sentiments? Yogendradi shaber jai durlabha prasad tabe kene koriache emoto pramad. This devotional service is rarely attained by even the best of the yogis. So why have you made such a mistake? Shuni bhakti yoga Sārvabhaumer vachan boro shuki hoila Gaurachandra Narayan. After hearing Sārvabhauma's glorification of devotional service, Lord Gaurachandra became greatly pleased. Oh, and Krishna Mai Didi, I'm gonna go on until a bit longer. I know it's very late for you. So if you like, you can leave and listen to the rest tomorrow. I don't want to keep anybody up way too late. Shuni Bhakti Yoga Sārvabhauma. Okay, yeah. So after hearing Sārvabhauma's glorification of devotional service, Lord Gaurachandra became greatly pleased. Prabhu bole shuno Sārvabhauma Mahāshai Sannyasi amare nahi jani ho nishchoy. The Lord said, "Listen, Sārvabhauma Mahāshai, do not consider me a sannyasi. Krishner virahe mui vikipta hoya bahir hoilo shikha sutra mudaiya." I left home and shaved my head because I was disturbed by feelings of separation from Krishna. Sannyasi koriya gyan charo mor prati kripa koro jeno mor Krishna hoy mati. I'm going to just reread the previous verse because I thought about something else while I read it. I left home, then shaved my head because I was disturbed by feelings of separation from Krishna. Forget that I am a sannyasi and bestow your mercy on me so that my mind becomes fixed on Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. Gaura Sundar said, "Don't think that because I wear the dress of a sannyasi, I am a mayavadi sannyasi. I have given up the shika and Brahman thread, which are the assets of a Brahman, because I was suffering out of separation from Krishna. Please do not consider me a mayavadi sannyasi. Always bestow your mercy on me, so that my propensity to serve Krishna progressively increases, and so that I may attain love of Krishna." Prabhu hoy nija dase mohe heno mate, e mayai dase Prabhu jani be ke mote. When the Supreme Lord bewilders his own servants in this way, how will his servants understand him? Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, right? Yes. When the Supreme Lord bewilders his own servants in this way, how will his servants understand him? Gaudiya Bhashya. Although Gaurasundar is the controller of Maya, he deceptively took instructions from Sārvabhauma, who is under the control of Maya. Jadi tiho nahi jana yena apanare, tabe kar shakti ache janite tahare. Who has the power to know the Lord if he does not reveal himself? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word tiho refers to the Lord. Na janiya seva ke jate ka katha koi, tahateo ishvarer mahaprita hoy. The Lord is greatly pleased with whatever his servant speaks, even if that servant lacks proper knowledge. Sarva kala bhritya shange prabhu krida kore, sevaker nimitta apane avatare. The Lord always enjoys pastimes with his servants. He incarnates for the sake of his servants. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Katha Upanishad 1-23, it is stated, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Name Dayana Bahuna Shtena Yame Vaisha Vinute Tena Labhyas Tashaisha Atma Vivrinute Tanungsam. The Supreme Lord is not obtained by expert explanations, by vast intelligence, or even by much hearing. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. See also Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 1063-27 and 1038-13. Je mate sevake bhaje Krishner charane, Krishna she mate dase bhajen apane, etana swabhava je Shri Bhakta Vatsal, ihatane nibarite kar achebo. As a devotee worships the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with that servant in a similar way. The nature of the Supreme Lord is that he is affectionate to his devotees. Who has the power to change that nature? Gaudiya Bhashya. Lord Krishna's eternal Ashray Vigrahas are manifestations of the Lord whom one must take shelter, and their separated parts and parcels. They worship him in one of the 5 varieties of rasas. Krishna accepts their service according to how they serve him. Since the Mayavadis, who are devoid of ras, and the materialistic karmis, since the Mayavadis and karmis cannot understand the Supreme Lord, they are misguided as if seated on a machine. Gaudiya Bhashya 4:11, the Lord declares, in the Bhagavad Gita 4:11, the Lord declares, Ye yatamam prapadyante tang sataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manusya partha sarvasha. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10:38-22, it is stated, Natasya kaschid daita suhrittamo nacha priyo dvesha upeksha eva va tatapi bhaktan bhajate yata tata suradrumo yadvad upashritortada. The Supreme Lord has no favorite and no dearmost friend, nor does he consider anyone undesirable, despicable, or fit to be neglected. All the same, he lovingly reciprocates with his devotees in whatever manner they worship him, just as the trees of heaven fulfill the desires of whoever approaches them. Hase Prabhu Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya Na bhujen Sārvabhauma māyā mukta hoya. The Lord smiled as he looked at Sārvabhauma. Yet Sārvabhauma could not understand the Lord's words, for he was bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 8:20-28, it is stated, Chayasu ritum hasite chamayam tanu ruheshvo shadi jatayascha. On his shadow was death. In his smile was the illusory energy, and on the hairs of his body were all the drugs and herbs. Interesting. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 2:131, it is stated, Chandang sanantasya shiro grunanti tangshtra yama sneha kala dvijani aso janon mada kari chamaya duranta sargo yarapanga moksha. The most illusory material energy is a smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. Sārvabhauma bolen ashrame boro tumi, shastramate tumi vandya upasaka ami. Sārvabhauma said, You are senior to me by ashram. So, according to the scriptures, you are worshipable, and I am to worship you. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sārvabhauma said, although I am elder and learned, you are superior to me by ashram. Therefore, you are worshipable to me. According to the scriptures, I am your servant. Therefore, I am being offensive by accepting your humility and submission. Tumi je amare stava koro jukti noi, tahate amar pache aparadha hoy. It is not proper that you offer prayers to me, for this will make me an offender. Prabhu bole charo more e shakala māyā, Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya loino mui chaya. The Lord said, give up all your deception. I have taken full shelter of you. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word māyā means deception. Gaur Hari said, do not deceive me by speaking in this way, for I am under your shelter. By performing such pastimes with his servant Sārvabhauma, Mahāprabhu did not allow him to know his true identity. Rather, he expressed a desire to hear from him an explanation on the Atma-rama verse from the Śrīmad Bhāgavata. Hare Krishna Shah Sharmaji and Fu Manika Harivo. In this way, the Lord performs pastimes with his servants. Who can understand the pastimes of Gaura Sundar? Prabhu bole mor eka ache manorata, tomar mukhete shuni māyā bhagavata. The Lord said, I have one desire. I wish to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam from your mouth. So the Lord said, I have one desire. I wish to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam from your mouth. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word shunibaya means I will hear. Another reading from Manorata, desire, is nivedan, request. Another reading for Shunibaya Bhagavata, I will hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, is Bhagavatar Shravan, hearing of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Okay. Sometimes it appears in two different ways, but it means the same thing. Jate ka sangshay chitte achaye amar, toma boy guchaite heno nahi ar. Only you are able to remove whatever doubts I have. Sārvabhauma bole tumi shakala vidyai sai parama pravina ami jani sarvatai. Sārvabhauma said, I know well that you are well versed in all fields of knowledge. Kona bhagavata artha na jano vatumi tomare ba kono rupe prabodhibo ami. Is there any meaning of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam that you do not know? How then can I teach you? Tatapiho anyonye bhaktir vichar kori beka sujaner sabhava vyabhar. Still, it is the nature of pious persons to discuss devotional service among themselves. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase anyonye means between one another. In the Bhagavad Gita 10:9, it is stated, Mat chitta matkata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantash chamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. In the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 11.330, it is stated, Parasparanutkatanam pavanam bhagavad yasha mittoratir mitastushtir nivritir mita atmana. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Wow, I really like this verse. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:330. Such a nice verse. Gonna save it. Here, I'll send it in the group. Why not? Actually, I'll put it in discussions. Okay. Bolo dekhi sandeho tomar kon sthane ache taha jatha shakti koribo bakhane. So then Sārvabhauma asked Mahaprabhu, tell me, what particular verse do you have some doubt about? I will try to explain it to the best of my ability. Tabe Śrī Vaikuṇṭha-nath ishata hasiya bolilen ekashlok ashta akhariya. The Lord of Vaikuṇṭha then smiled and recited one verse from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Atmaramaschamunayo nigrantaya apyurukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim itam bhuta guno hari. Okay, so here's a simple translation of the verse. All different varieties of Atmaramas, and Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma, or the spirit self. So all the different varieties of those who take pleasure in the Atma and the self, they especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, they desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Saraswati Pati Gora Chandrer Agrete Kripai Lagila Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya. Then, in the presence of Gaura Chandra, the husband of Saraswati, and by his mercy, Sārvabhauma began to explain this verse. Gaudiya Bhashya. Shri Vagdevi, that is Saraswati, the goddess of speech, is mentioned in the Bhaja Saneya Samhita, quoted in the Govinda Bhashya 3.340 as follows. Shrishchate Lakshmishcha Patnyao. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri and Lakshmi are your wives. In the Narad Pancharatra 2.364, it is stated, Saraswati Bharati cha yogena siddhiyogini Bharati Brahma Patni cha Vishnu Patni Saraswati. By the order of Lord Hari, Saraswati Devi accepted two forms. In one form, she is Saraswati, the perfect mystic yogini. And in another form, she was Bharati. Bharati became the wife of Brahma, and Saraswati became the wife of Vishnu. Okay, so in the presence of the husband of Saraswati, Shri Gaura Chandra, and by his mercy, Sārvabhauma began to explain this verse. Sārvabhauma bolen shlokarta e satya Krishna pade bhakti she sabar mula tattva. Sārvabhauma said, the true meaning of this verse is that devotional service to the lotus feet of Krishna is the original truth. We're very close to the end. Gaudiya Bhashya. The actual purport of the Atmarama verse is that Krishna, the object of worship, is the original truth of all. Those persons who are completely liberated from all forms of material bondage are qualified to achieve devotional service to Krishna. The qualities of Krishna are very powerful. Those people who desire material enjoyments not related to Krishna are conditioned souls averse to the worship of Krishna. Sarva kala paripurna hoy jai jai jan Antare bahire jar, nahi ko bandhan. Evam vida mukta shab kore Krishna bhakti. Heno Krishna guner svabhava mahashakti. Those who are internally and are internally and externally always completely liberated from material bondage, even they render devotional service to Krishna. Such is the powerful influence of Krishna's qualities. Evam vida mukta shab kore Krishna bhakti, heno Krishna guner svabhava mahashakti. Heno Krishna gunana mukta shabe gai, ite anader jai, she nasha jai. Liberated souls sing the glories of Krishna's qualities and names, while those who disrespect them are vanquished. E mata nana mata pakatolaya, vakya kore Sārvabhauma abhishta hoya. In this way, Sārvabhauma put forth various arguments as he explained the verse with full concentration. Trayodasha prakara shlokarta vakaniya. Rohilen ar shakti nahi ko boliya. After explaining the verse in 13 different ways, he stopped and said, I am unable to speak further. Ishathasiya Gora Chandra Prabhu koi, Jato Bakhanila tumi, Saba Satya hoy. Lord Gaurachandra smiled and said, whatever you have explained is certainly true. Ebe shuno ami kichu koriye vyakhyan, bhujo deki vichariya hoy ki praman. Now hear my explanations and decide whether they are authorized. Tokone vismita Sārvabhauma mahashai, ar artha narer shakti te kabunoy. Sārvabhauma Mahashai became struck with wonder as he thought, further explanations are beyond the ability of a human being. Apanar artha prabhu apane bakhane, jaha keho kona kalpe udesha na jane. The Lord then explained the meaning in his own ways, which no one at any time could conceive. Gaudiya Bhashya. Gaura Sundar is directly Krishna Chandra. Therefore, only he knows the actual purport of this verse spoken by Krishna. Gaura Sundar began to personally explain this verse in many different ways, without touching the 13 explanations given by Sārvabhauma. No living entity other than Krishna could ever conceive of such explanations. Bhakya shuni Sārvabhauma parama vismita mone bhave ekiba ishvar vidita. Sārvabhauma was astonished to hear the Lord's explanations and thought, is he the Supreme Lord? All right, so we're going to end here for today, and we'll continue from verse 100 tomorrow. I'll just give a hint. Let's just read the translation of this verse. After explaining the verse, the Lord roared loudly and manifested his six-armed form. The Lord said, O Sārvabhauma, what do you think? Am I not qualified to take sannyas? Do you think that I am a mere sannyasi? I came here for your sake. You have spent many lifetimes trying to attain love for me. Therefore, I am revealing myself to you. I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. Throughout the innumerable universes, I alone am qualified. You are my purely devoted servant, birth after birth. Therefore, I have revealed myself to you. I will deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. Do not worry. Just offer prayers to me. That six-armed form of the Lord was most wonderful and effulgent as millions of suns. Sārvabhauma lost consciousness on seeing that form. The six-armed Lord Gaurachandra then roared loudly in ecstasy. The Lord was greatly pleased with Sārvabhauma, and he placed his lotus hand on Sārvabhauma's head and said, get up. By the touch of the Lord's lotus hand, the Brahmin regained consciousness. Yet he remained speechless and stunned in ecstasy. Lord Sri Gaurasundar, the ocean of mercy, then placed his feet on Sārvabhauma's chest. Having received the touch of the Lord's lotus feet, Sārvabhauma Mahāshai became completely filled with transcendental ecstasy. He tightly grabbed the Lord's lotus feet and cried in ecstasy while saying, "Today, I have captured the thief who stole my heart." Sārvabhauma cried pathetically as he held those wonderful lotus feet, which are the wealth of Rama, the goddess of fortune. "O Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya, my life and soul, please glance mercifully on this fallen soul. I am so sinful that I dared to teach you religious principles. I did not understand your pure, inconceivable glories. O Lord, who does not become bewildered by your illusory energy, which bewilders even the best of the great yogis?" So anyways, we'll continue tomorrow reading Sārvabhauma Bhaṭṭācārya's prayers to the Lord, to Sri Sarbhuj. Sarbhuj Gaura Hari. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari. Wait, is Kishore there? No, he's not. Yes, he is. Kishore, could you do the Jaidwani?
जय सुप्रकाश शिखर गौरंग गन्धर्विका गिरिधरे राध विनोद बिहारी राध नायनाथ राध रमन बिहारी राध माधव शिशि सचिदानंद गौर हरि राधा मुकुंद जी की जय। जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरमहन जी की जय। जय नत्यलेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार परमहंस प्रिय भ्रष्टाचार्य वर्यस्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोस्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। जय नत्यलेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार परमहंस प्रिय भ्रष्टाचार्य वर्यस्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत शल नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज परिपावन गुरुदेव की जय। नत्यलेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यलेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार स्तोत्रस्त शिष्यमान भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। Dyalela Pravishtam Vishnuparsto Tristashman Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Dyalela Pravishtam Vishnuparsto Tristashman A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Shrila Prabhupada ki jai. Dyalela Pravishtam Vishnuparsto Tristashman Bhakti Dait Madhu Goswami Param Guru Maharaj ki jai. Dyalela Pravishtam Vishnuparsto Tristashman Bhakti Pragyan Keshu Goswami Maharaj Param Guru Devacharya Keshari ki jai. सत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपारिष्टो दृष्ट शिष्यमान जगद्गुरु श्री वर्षभाना विदयितरास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। स्वापरिकार शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय नत्यलेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपार महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस अष्टोत्तरस्त शिशुमार गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी अष्टोत्तरस्त शिशुमार सचिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वोम अष्टोत्तरस्त शिशुमार जगन्नाथ जी महाशय की जय। सूर्य कुंदवास सिद्ध शिलमरिसन दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री उर्वदास उदरान दास की जय। जय गुरु विनान आचार्य शिष्यमार बलिदेव विधिभूषण प्रभु की जय। महामहोपरित्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शल विष्णु चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय। शल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय। शल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय। जय शल नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय। श्री शल कृष्णास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री शल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर महाशय की जय। जय विश्वतार अरिकाव्य शिशुमार वृंदावन दास ठाकुर महाशय की जय। जय श्री अष्टकविराज वसुर जानव नित्यानंद दुर्ष गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत जगदानंद मार्गनंद की जय। श्री रूपा श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ शर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप रय रमानंद लोकनाथ पुगर्भ अदि गौर परिषार वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री ईश्वर परिपार की जय। श्री माधवेंद्र परिपार की जय। श्री अंतर्दीप मायपुर सिमंदीप गोद्रुमदीप मध्यदीप गोलुदीप ऋतुदीप जानुदीप मातृद्रुमादीप रुद्रदीप मन्मक श्री नागद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौर नित्यानंद अद्वैत राय की जय। श्री श्री गौर गदाधर की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपाल गौ गिरि गोवर्धन दुर्शर्वनाथ माँ श्री ब्रजमंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी अमर सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। जय वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्रा चंपकला तुंग विद्या इंदुलेखा रंगदेवी सुदेवी हरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री आनंग प्रेम मंजलालि श्री रूपल मंगा राघव विलस गुणरति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि हरि मंजारी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी उमाई देवी की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर सरशिव महादेव की जय। जय राधा वर्णन की धाम श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जीव की जय। श्री गंभीर की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद आविर्भाव स्थल की जय। श्री हरिदास ठाकुर स्मारक मंदिर की जय। श्री वासुदेव सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंतल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्व विक्रम विनाशन करे भक्त विक्रम विनाश शेन्द्र सिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव की जय। जय श्री हरिराम झरि संप्रदाय झरि आचार्य की जय। श्री मध्वार मनोज विष्णु स्वामी नंबरित्य झरि आचार्य की जय। श्रीमद मध्वाचार्य की जय। ठाकुर मात्रा श्री चैतन्य मार की जय। श्री गौरीमार वृंद की जय। जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमाद भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भागवत जय धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव वृंद वृंद की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन धर्म की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 नम 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 हरे हरे। महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद करी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री सबकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय परम ब्रह्मन परमा सत्यम परमेश्वर परिपावन प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम स्वयं भगवान जगन्नाथ मिश्र नंदन गौर सुंदर गराध प्राणनाथ श्री विश्वम्बर मिश्र निमाय पंडित श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्र महाप्रभु की जय। परमा दयाल परमा करुणामयी श्री श्रीमन नित्यानंद हलदार बलराम महाजान प्रभु की जय। श्री नित्यानंद बलराम की जय। श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरे बोल। वृंदाय तुलसी देवी आय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदेवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री राधे।
Pranams. Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Satya Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, and Hare Krishna. And then let's see who's on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see, Raseshwari Mataji, Amit Tandekar, Manjari Didi, Nitai, Rukmini Didi, Pumanaka, Emer Gandharva, Kokhan Saha, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. I already said Raseshwari Mataji, right? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining. And also thank you for joining those who are watching in the future, like Sudevi Didi, I think also Sachinandan Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, and Vishaka Didi. They mentioned that they watch later on. So, and anybody else, I'm curious, as I mentioned before, if you're watching right now, right in the, like in the future, write in the comments so that I can know who else has been joining the programs. All right. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.
Thank you.